One Ella was sitting alone at home on a quiet, gloomy afternoon, feeling extremely bored and lonely, completely silent, and the lack of noise made her feel uncomfortable and trapped. 3. She felt restless and tired of doing the same things every day without anything new or exciting. For Ella wanted to escape the silence around her and go somewhere peaceful, beautiful, and refreshing. 5. Suddenly, a spontaneous idea popped into her mind, and she decided to go on an adventure. Why not drive somewhere calm and relaxing, maybe surrounded by nature? She thought excitedly to herself. 7. She jumped out of bed quickly, feeling a sudden energy that she hadn't felt all morning. 8. After stretching a little, she changed into her favorite comfortable clothes and brushed her hair neatly. 9. She went into the kitchen and made herself a quick but filling breakfast before heading out. 10. Her car keys from the table, put on her sneakers, and stepped outside confidently. 11. The air was slightly chilly, and gray clouds covered the sky, hinting at incoming rain or snow. 12. She let the gloomy weather stop her because her desire for adventure was much stronger. 13. Felt like she needed some fresh air, a break from routine, and some quiet natural scenery. 14. First, she decided to drive to her best friend Zara's house to talk and have tea. 15. Welcomed her with a warm smile, happy to see her friend unexpectedly arrive that afternoon. 16. Together in the cozy living room, sipping tea and chatting about life and boredom. 7. Zara asked why Ella looked uneasy, and Ella shared her restlessness and desire to explore. I think I need a break. Some peace, trees, wind, maybe even some snow, Ella said. 19. Smiled, handed her another cup of tea, and encouraged her to follow that feeling. 20. After finishing her tea, Ella stood up, hugged her friend, and headed back to her car. 21. The engine, rolled down the window slightly, and felt the cold wind touch her face. 20. Time, she decided to drive far from town, toward the forest she hadn't visited in years. 20th road was narrow and quiet, lined with tall trees swaying gently in the chilly breeze. 24 continued gathering above, and soon raindrops began hitting her windshield with a soft tapping rhythm. 20 turned on the wipers and slowed down, driving carefully through the foggy, winding forest road. Despite the weather, she felt strangely calm, as if the forest was calling her back home. 20 After a long drive, she finally reached a clearing where she parked the car near some trees. 28 She stepped outside and took a deep breath, feeling the cold air fill her lungs deeply. 29 Darker now, and a heavy silence filled the woods, broken only by distant birds. 30 Suddenly, the rain turned heavier, and the wind picked up speed, chilling her through her hoodie. 31 Became damp, and she realized how unprepared she was for this freezing change in weather. A young girl stands alone in the middle of a vast snow-covered jungle, her breath forming soft clouds in the freezing silence around her. 2. Gentle snowflakes fall from the gray sky above, landing softly on her face and eyelashes as she smiles quietly. 3. She stretches her arms wide and tilts her head back, embracing the cold wind and the beauty of the falling snow. 4. Suddenly the chill sinks deep into her skin, and her body begins to tremble uncontrollably from the freezing air. She hugs herself tightly, crossing her arms over her chest, trying to fight off the bitter cold. 6. Her eyes scan the area and she begins to walk carefully through the snow, looking for dry sticks and branches. She bends down near a frozen log and picks up a thick broken branch, her fingers turning numb from the cold. Using both hands, she snaps the wood into smaller pieces, her breath quickening from the effort. 9. She chooses a dry spot near the base of a tree and carefully lays down the wood in a small pile. Turning toward the thicker bushes, she walks through the snow again, searching for more firewood. Her arms now full of sticks and branches, she slowly returns to her fire spot with steady, cautious steps. 12. Kneeling down, she pulls out 2 stones and begins striking them together, hoping to create a spark. A faint spark finally appears. She places dry grass between the wood and blows gently to ignite it. The fire catches slowly, then bursts into warm orange flames as smoke rises through the cold air. 15. She extends her cold hands toward the fire, her face relaxing with the first touch of warmth. 16. Leaning her back against a nearby tree, she exhales deeply, letting the fire's heat soothe her. 7. She lifts her legs and stretches her feet out toward the flames, trying to warm her toes through wet shoes. 18. The howling wind still blows around her, but the fire protects her like a small glowing shield. She sits in silence for several minutes. The only sound is the soft crackle of burning wood in the snow. Eventually she rises, slowly brushing snow from her clothes, and glances into the white distance ahead. 20. As she takes a few steps forward, another strong gust of wind hits her and the cold stabs through her again. 20. She stops mid-step, shivering harder now, and wraps her arms tighter around herself, feeling helpless. 20. Suddenly she senses movement behind her and turns to see a lion standing silently in the snow. 20. The lion's golden fur is dusted with snow, but it doesn't roar or charge, it just watches her calmly. 20. With cautious steps she walks toward the lion, their eyes locked as a quiet trust begins to form. 20. They both walk back to the fire together, the lion's heavy paws crunching softly over the snow beside her. 20. She looks at the lion with a small smile and says warmly, "I've made a fire, come sit with me and stay warm." Ella and the lion sit side by side near the crackling fire, their bodies still as they share warmth and peace in the heart of the frozen jungle. As she began to feel safe, she heard human voices shouting in the distance. Voices were rough, urgent, and growing louder. Clearly, more people were entering the forest. Six stood up and looked around, trying to see where the voices were coming from. The trees. She spotted two men wearing dark jackets, carrying ropes and long dart guns. A wave of fear washed over her. They looked like poachers, dangerous and well-prepared. The lion stood too, sensing the threat, its body tense and its growl low and deep. Sin hadn't seen her yet, but they were moving quickly in her direction through the woods. She grabbed her bag, eyes wide, and whispered under her breath, "I have to run, now." Six out another thought. She turned and sprinted back the way she had come, heart pounding wildly. Seven let out a powerful roar, startling the men, buying her a few more seconds to escape. Snow sprayed under her boots as she ran, branches scratching her arms, breath heavy in the cold air. She could hear the men shouting behind her, but she didn't dare to stop or look back. 7. She could think about was reaching her car before they caught up with her. Her lungs burned as she pushed herself harder, weaving through the snow-covered trees like a hunted animal. 7. Finally, she saw the clearing ahead, where her car stood waiting like a lifeline in the forest. 7. Burst through the last row of trees and nearly slipped, but caught herself just in time. 7. Fumbling with frozen fingers, she pulled out her keys and unlocked the car door in a panic. She jumped inside, slammed the door shut, and locked it tightly, gasping for breath in sheer panic. Through the window, she saw the lion standing at the edge of the forest, watching protectively. 80. The lion didn't follow her but simply stood tall, like a silent guardian seeing her off safely. 8. For a few seconds, their eyes met once more. A silent goodbye filled with unspoken gratitude. 80 to key, and the engine roared to life as she took one last look behind. 80. She drove away fast, heart pounding with fear, awe, and a strange kind of sadness for leaving. 80. Home that night, wrapped in a blanket, she couldn't stop thinking about the lion and forest. 80. Opened her journal and wrote, "Tomorrow, I will return. Not for myself, but for him,